rebuilding. The catastrophic failure, a new start. Physically, mentally, our careers, our businesses. Step back, first step, next step. The driver in me just wants to get it done tomorrow. We'll do this, do that, let's move this, where are we at with this? You build some confidence, build some self-esteem, start to feel better about yourself. The Silverback Blueprint Podcast, a show for men over 40. We focus on getting stronger, staying motivated, building discipline, creating a community, and becoming truly happy. Welcome to episode 188 of the Silverback Blueprint Podcast. It's not the load that breaks you, it's how you carry it. I have to admit, I'm always crapping on these motivational memes that I see on the Facebooks all the time, but this was actually a meme that came across my feed today, and I actually loved it. And it was probably one of the more original ones I'd seen in a long time, and I started thinking about it, and I'm like, man, this is an episode for the podcast for sure. And it really started getting me think about, why is it that we're some people that just can seem to handle everything? And they have so much going on, and no matter what happens, they always seem like they're in control. And I'm not talking about that fake control where on the outside they're all cool and everything is, 100% wonderful and that kind of thing. And then when you get behind the scenes or you get them at home, they're a fucking train wreck, right? I'm talking about people around us that truly are working at the top of their game and have their shit together and are just cool. I know that's what I aspire to do and I'm trying to become and working towards. And I find it fascinating when I see that. I could literally sit back and just watch a person like that just deal with things and just how they handle everything. I think it's magical. I think it's just I don't know. It takes my breath away. I think it's the epitome of where I'd like to see myself go with things. And even when they get hit with a crisis, they just deal with it in just a really cool manner. Like just in a manner where not that crisis is ever good, but they just handle the shit out of it really well. And the one thing I noticed too is that they tend not to have a lot of crises. So maybe the two are directly related, right? That kind of thing. And where a lot of us just can't. A lot of us just, someone cuts us off in traffic, our day's done. Our whole day's done. We can't seem to get out of it, and there's, we just go to those places and we get angry and flare up. And I think it's because what's under the surface just gets released. So if we're frustrated, we're not happy with things are, we've got some anger. It's just that one straw that breaks that camel's back, and all of a sudden we erupt and we're getting 10 times angrier than we need to be. I know I find myself in that situation and I don't like it. And it's almost like I'm standing beside myself, listening to myself, and I'm like, Jesus, calm the fuck down. Why are you so mad? And it's not the situation you're mad about. It's just there's stuff that you haven't resolved or that's bugging you that's coming to the top. And I just really like how this quote came out. It's not the weight that breaks us, it's how we carry it, how we handle the situation, right? And I think there's a few factors, obviously, that contribute to how well we can handle things. Our focus, if we're focused on our purpose and what we're trying to do, I think a lot of things will just bounce off us. We won't even notice it. Things that would bug us normally, we don't even recognize. We don't even, acknowledge because we don't see it. We're not spending time focusing on that. We're focusing on the things at hand. Being prepared, just having your shit together. You're on top of your game. Your bills are paid. You have a plan for your finances. You have a plan for your business. You have a plan for your household. Right? All those things make a big difference. And being strong physically, strong emotionally, strong just character, just strengthening our resolve to what we're trying to do and who we want to become. And I don't mean just from a physical standpoint. Obviously, training and exercising, being fit has a lot to do with it, right? We release a lot of those stresses when we work out. We end up being stronger, having better energy. Right? We just can do more because we're in a better physical state. Obviously makes a big difference. But being strong with just dealing with things and understanding that not everything's always going to be a cakewalk, but things are only as bad most times as we let them be, as we let them get to us, right? Sometimes we'll sit there and we're going along getting all kinds of cool stuff done, and we see something on Facebook or social media that isn't flattering to either us or things that we're into. And all of a sudden we feel slighted, right? We need to toughen up. We need to create a thicker skin about ourselves. And mindset. Mindset is still, I think, the most important thing. Just, in your mind, know that whatever happens, right, you at the end of the day decide how you're going to react, right? If there's a horrible car accident in front of you, how you react is up to you, right? If something happens at work, something happens on your job, something happens in business, right? We can sit there and get really, really upset, or we can sit there and look at the situation, try to figure out why it happened. Was it something that I caused or you caused? Was it something that we weren't prepared for? Was it something we neglected? Was it something that is totally out of our control and we just have to deal with it? Right? How we look at things, the mindset that we prepare ourselves with, that we decide for ourselves how we're going to handle things makes a big difference. And being organized. I find people that tend to get a lot of things done, that can handle a lot of things, that seem to be able to just, operate such a high level, they're organized. Their day is structured, their routines, their rituals, right? The more they're in control, the more they control what's happening to them and what they're being a part of, the better it is. Learning to say no, saying, you know what, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I'm able to do. Saying yes to the right things. Being committed, realizing that, hey, I've got a crazy week ahead, so I better get organized. And that doesn't mean getting organized at Monday morning at 10 a.m. That might mean getting organized Saturday night, start preparing for the week ahead into Sunday, right? What do I need to do all next week? What are the critical things that have to get done? So what's that going to look like? Am I going to cram them all into a Monday? Am I going to hit the ground running so Monday morning I'm on top of things and I'm firing, on all cylinders and I'm getting things done? Or am I going to wait till I get to work, till I get settled in, have my coffee, deal with all the things, and then finally start to plan, let alone execute? Being organized. And the other thing I think is just being more stoic. Really learning to not operate on emotion. To sit there and say, listen, this is stuff I have to get through. I have to make it happen. I have to try to control my emotions, your fears, your anger, because those are natural. But we need to get to the bottom as to why we have the fear, why we have the anger. But we have to make sure that we don't operate from those positions. Because those are positions of weakness, not strength. So be able to look clearly at things, to break it down, to understand why it's happening. And obviously get through it, but then work through it in such a way that it doesn't repeat itself. We've found ourselves many times dealing with the same type of situation over and over again because we never really work to resolve the causes of that situation. Ourselves, or maybe people we know, always tend to be caught in these same loops, the drama, the things like that. We often say some people just, thrive on drama. I don't know if they thrive on drama. I think that they're unorganized, and at the end of the day, that's the devil they know, is to react rather than to prepare. It's hard to say, but again, going back to, it's how we carry the load of stress, how we carry the load of managing our day-to-day lives and moving towards our purpose. Once again, I think, not having a purpose, not knowing why you get up every day, what's important for you. We don't have that target. We don't know what we're aiming for, so we can't adjust. We can't make proper decisions. We can't say yes or no to things if we don't know the destination we're trying to get to. So obviously, I think that's one of the first things we have to do. And I think people that operate at a higher level, people that get more done, people that achieve, understand this. Either they've learned it, or it's innate in them, or they just grew up in that environment where that's just the way things were. So it's natural for them. But study people. If you want to achieve something, if someone around you is getting things done to a much higher level, to a level you wish you could do things, start studying them. They leave clues. Quoted Anthony Robbins many times. People's success leaves clues over and over again. Certain things happen in a certain manner. Sleeping until noon does not get things done. Staying up till 2 a.m. does not get these things done. Refusing to read, refusing to educate yourself, refusing to journal, refusing to create routines that are positive, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I had a discussion recently with someone who was talking to me about, they're trying to achieve a higher level of success in their career. And it came out that, they want to make $100,000 a year. And they're far from it right now. So we talked about the routines that they were doing and what they were working on. And I said, well, what do you think a person who makes $100,000 a year does? And they're like, well, they've either got this job or this title or they've got this education, so sort of that, superficial surface stuff. And I let them finish, and I said, well, you know what? In my opinion, I know a few people that make over $100,000 personally, and what I see them do is they're constantly working at their craft, at their job. They're the ones taking their laptop home, doing extra work at night for an hour or two to get on top of things, not waiting until they get to work. They're the ones who'll spend a Saturday afternoon when it's quiet, sit down with a book and a notepad, and when their minds are calmer, organize their thoughts and things they need to work on. They're creating to-do lists. They're journaling. They're focused. They're organized. But they're not working 32 hours a week. They put a lot more time and effort into it. They achieve at a higher level because they produce at a higher level. Now, there's going to be the odd person that makes $100,000 or more a year and, seems to be floating by because they just got that right position doing that right thing. But that's the exception rather than the norm. I think when people, get to the point where they're making that kind of money, achieving that kind of success, they're working hard and they're working consistently. And there is no 8 to 4. There is no 9 to 5. There is no Monday to Friday for them. That's just the constructs that within they have to work, but they get a lot of stuff done outside those parameters. It's not by accident. What you focus on is what you achieve. And the person I was talking to was truly, they just didn't get it, and I said, that's fine. But, I said, there's some critical things, when I asked, the first question I ask anyone who's trying to make any changes, anything at all. I don't care if you're trying to lose weight. If you're trying to build muscle or strength, if you're trying to improve your income, if you're trying to build your company, if you're trying to have a better relationship with your family, any of it. If you're not organizing yourself, if you're not sitting down and doing some reading, if you're not doing some writing, if you're not creating rituals, none of it's going to work. None of it works. None of it improves. Just trying to wing it doesn't work. Stuff like when I hear things like, well, it's in my head, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, well, you know what? We'll talk in a year and we'll see how far you've gone. We've done many episodes talking about the importance of journaling and the science and the chemical reaction of writing things down in the brain. But it's in the rituals and the customs, and it's in doing things that you're not currently doing now. If you're always doing the same things, how can you expect a different result? That's one of the classic, definitions of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You need to change and shift your routine. The things that you do, the rituals. First, create rituals, because whether you create them or not, you have rituals. There are things you do, you have patterns. But if you're not achieving the things that you want to do in any area of your life, the patterns you have are ineffective. But believe me, you have patterns. But they've sort of just evolved. They've sort of just happened. Right? It's just something that's kind of where you've gone to in life. You let happen to you. You have to turn around and control those routines. You have to recreate better routines. You have to make changes. And those are the things that are super important. Those are the things that when I look at people that are getting things done, that's what I see. That's what I see happen. They're not binge watching TV every night. I'm not saying they don't watch TV once in a while, but not every night. They're on time for things. They're focused for things. They arrive prepared. Even how they dress. And I don't mean like dress in suits, but I mean, they just present themselves better. They walk a little bit different because they're working on themselves. And you can't help but improve when you work on yourself. So once again, if there's anything that you're stressing with and struggling with, find someone who's going through something similar and seems to be doing a better job and look at what they're doing and look at how they're doing it. But get it in your head, though. You're going to have to make some changes. It comes down to that. To becoming a better version, the ultimate version of yourself, you have to change what you're doing. Because what got you here is not going to get you there. And it's in the steps. That's all I have to say for now, guys. Head on over to iTunes. Leave us a 5-star rating, a positive review. Head on over to hostilegear.com. Use the code word Silverback to get 20% off your It's Not the Load That Breaks You, But How You Carry It hoodie. And as always, work hard, motherfuckers, and I'll talk to you guys later.